I know there's a Black Phillip plush out there somewhere. I really want one. Black Phillip is iconic. Welcome back everyone to Grizzly Reviews. My name is Garrett and today I'm bringing you a review for The Witch. Or The Witch, a New England folk tale. Or The Witch if you go by what letters are actually used for the title. A24 is partnering with AMC during the month of October to bring their movies back into theaters every Wednesday this month. So the first one was The Witch, which I saw yesterday. When you go, you get this cute little A24 sticker, which will be going on my laptop. It's just nice being able to see a movie I've only seen at home, or in the case of seeing it with my friends in college, now in a movie theater. And I have a much different perspective on this movie because of its theatrical viewing. Written and directed by Robert Eggers in what I believe is his directorial debut, The Witch tells the story of a family in 1630s New England that is torn apart by the forces of witchcraft, black magic, and possession. So I have a bit of history with The Witch. The first viewing was with my friends in college, and we were wanting a scary movie, and The Witch is not really scary until the end of it. So we didn't really love it that first time. Now, my second and third viewings, once I got my Blu-ray for it, my perspective has changed a lot. And now seeing it for a fourth time in theaters, no less, I just love The Witch. I will be spoiling The Witch during this review, so if you haven't seen it yet, please go watch. Otherwise, you have been warned. I'm not gonna say The Witch is a perfect movie. I do think there are some improvements that could be made to it, but visually, foremost, this film is gorgeous. Seeing it in a theater, there's something that you wouldn't get if you watch it through a TV, and that's because of the projector. So during the nighttime dinner scene, when they have a couple or single candles lit on the table that's in frame, the way the candle is shown on screen through the projector, it just looks like there's a beam of light going from behind you to the screen, and you can follow it across like the air. It's aesthetically really pleasing to me because I saw this movie in theaters in the very back row. I only had like 8 rows of seats in the theater I was in, so I was as far back as I could be, and I just really enjoyed seeing the projector light with the candle and everything. It was really cool. Another weird detail to point out is the trees in this movie look outstanding, especially in a theater. When you're on a TV screen, it's kind of all squished. Not really, the frame is still the same, but it's squished in the sense that I'm watching it on a smaller screen, and now when it's on a much larger screen in a theater, the trees just look so imposing and so big. And the way the film is shot, I just love how the woods and everything in this movie looks. Big shout out to cinematographer Jarin Blosky for doing this movie. You are amazing, fantastic, amazing work. Good job. The acting is another thing I love about this movie. This is the first film I think we saw Anya TaylorJoy in. I'll be honest, I'm a little simp for Anya TaylorJoy. I'll go see every movie she's in the theaters, even if it's something that could possibly be bad. New Mutants. That's fucking stupid and ridiculous. And Anya TaylorJoy just gives a dazzling performance in this film. She's in a tough position where she's kind of aging out of her family. Her family is downtrodden pretty bad because they got shunned out of the village that they lived in because of the dad's stupid moral, religious superiority complex. She gives a very broad spectrum of emotion in this movie: elation, happiness, fear, pleading, joy, euphoria by the end of this movie. And all of this crazy stuff starts happening. The newborn Samuel is taken away. By the way, what happens to him in this movie is truly disgusting. I wanted to throw up watching it in theaters, and I didn't have that reaction seeing it before, but I just think it's the surround sound of the theater, and it was just fucking gross. I don't want to ever have to Ugh, nope, nope. Anya TaylorJoy just deserves every accolade and award ever. From here on out, I just love her a lot. She quite possibly is my favorite actress of all time right now. Big shout out to Ralph Ineson for playing William in this movie. The stuff this man does, it's truly some Broadway level acting. It's just genuinely so incredible, the work he does in this movie. And you kind of feel for the father in the position he's in. He just lost a kid. His wife has gone kind of religiously crazy with grief. And everything around him just seems to be falling apart. So while he does things that aren't morally okay, you kind of feel for it. But also at the same time, he's an asshole from the very beginning. We just saw Ralph Ineson in The Creator. He's one of the general dudes. So it was nice to see him once again on screen so soon after I saw him in The Creator. I know there's like an 8-year difference between when this movie and then The Creator came out, but nonetheless, still kind of cool how soon it was for that. Kate Dickie is one of the actors you hire when you are doing a period piece. She played Lisa Arryn in Game of Thrones. She was in The Green Knight. She's also in The Northman. And in The Witch, she plays Catherine, the mother, who I hate. She is, to put it nicely, a bitch in this movie. But you empathize why she's being so awful to her family. She just lost a kid, so she's grieving for that. But everything she does to every person in this family outside of Jonah and Mercy, it's just awful what she does. I hate her a lot. Truly an unlikable horror movie mother. She deserves everything that happened to her in this movie, and I'm glad that it's Thomasin that is the one to do it to her. There's a lot of really expansive, wide shots in this movie showing the entire forest and location that we're in. While you're seeing those shots, there's haunting music going on. So while I was watching this movie, I'm just trying to pinpoint if there's something I'm supposed to be looking at. It's very unsettling. I don't know if that's the intent necessarily for those shots, but that's what it did to me. Finally, Harvey Scrimshaw plays Caleb in this movie. He gives an outstanding performance. He has a truly impressive monologue. The scene where Caleb dies is truly one of the best scenes in this film. The monologue that he does during that scene is fantastic, and just the shot not moving away from him. It's a long shot the entire time the monologue happens until he dies. Even longer after when Catherine is trying to awake him. Unbelievable stuff. It's fucking awesome. I'll get into some of the complaints because I have to lead into with what's happening with Caleb. What happened to Caleb in this movie? Did the witch like put a spell on him? Or I wish I knew more about witchcraft so I understood what was happening to these characters while it was happening. Because the movie never explains what's going on, unfortunately, and I wish if they took a little bit of time to do that, I would have been a lot more happy and patient with this movie. The same what happens with Catherine in the third act of this film. Why is she hallucinating? How is she hallucinating? How many witches, how many devils are associated with what's going on? Why does she not feel the crow pecking on her when it is? It's just, I don't know what's happening. This movie is very much more a slow burn drama that turns into a horror movie at the end. Yes, there is a couple horror things happening throughout the film, but you're not getting your scares and tension and thrills like the third act of this movie is throughout the rest of it. Because of the kind of drama the movie is, you're getting Crucible vibes throughout it, without the McCarthyism, of course, and you're getting the horror elements too. But with Jonah and Mercy, are they really consigned with the devil? Are they faking? Is it like all the girls in the Crucible? Is it just so Thomasin gets in trouble? I don't know. The movie never answers it. And then Jonah and Mercy are just gone. Once we get to the final day of this movie, that morning where the goats and everything have been eaten by the witch that was in that barn. Jonah and Mercy are just gone, and you never hear anything about them. The mother, Catherine, is yelling at Thomasin, "Where are the kids?" And she's like, "I truly don't know, girl." I will say though, Mercy is a very funny character. The line that she gives after Thomasin fake scares her of being a witch is very funny. That joke got a couple laughs inside the theater, and then later on in the movie, after Thomasin and Caleb have left to go check the traps, you see Mercy and Jonah tied up to a fence. That got a laugh for me this time. It's very funny stuff. I don't think I noticed that previous viewings. Visually, I like how you can tell when the witch is there. Normally, they're a rabbit, but there's a lot of red in this movie that sticks out because of how undersaturated the movie is itself. When Caleb goes to the little house, I would say, and sees the witch, she's wearing her red cape. When Caleb shows up in front of Catherine with Sam is wrapped in a red blanket. And the blood of this movie is something that works really well. The stuff with Catherine and Thomasin at the end of this movie, the blood coming from Catherine's head landing on Anya TaylorJoy's face, and like how it's just smeared on there and kind of drying on her face after she killed her mom. It's really cool to look at. I enjoy the makeup department of this movie a lot. The blood effects really work. I will say that this movie is helped with multiple viewings so that you can understand everything that the characters are saying. They do speak in very old English, so if you miss a couple lines, you're kind of confused what's going on. Subtitles also really help with this movie and The Lighthouse. I think they could have done the accents, but in a more palatable way for viewers to understand what's going on. Otherwise, you're gonna get bored with this movie because it's very talking heavy if you can't understand what they're saying. And the way this movie ends, I truly love. It's now night when Thomasin wakes up after killing her mom, and she goes to the barn, wants to sign with Black Phillip. He says this fucking amazing line that will always be burned into my brain.
Wouldst thou like the taste of butter, a pretty dress? Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
And then she goes to the coven and they all float into the air. It's amazing stuff. The score is excellent at the end of this movie. It's haunting throughout the entire runtime, but especially at this very end where you get the vocals behind the music, it truly fits the vibe of this movie. And I'm happy for Thomasin that she is getting to live instead of surviving like her family has been. She talks about wanting to be able to live a life and her prayer to God at the beginning of the movie, and how she lives in sin in thought, so now she's living in sin in reality, because we shouldn't be withhold to a couple words in a book that was written who knows when, you know? So, The Witch. I like this movie a lot. It is a little bit of a slow burn, but when it gets going at the end of the movie, it really gets going. If you're into the early American history vibe, the way this movie is shot and the way the characters talk and everything is a great aesthetic to be in. It's very Crucible, and it's just a tour de force in direction, cinematography, writing, acting. It's a very well-made movie, and I highly suggest that you check out The Witch with subtitles on. I'm going to give The Witch an 8 out of 10. It's not my favorite of the Robert Eggers movies. I think The Lighthouse and The Northman are better movies than this one. You can kind of tell this has a very small budget. I do wish we got more time with the village at the beginning of the movie, but it makes sense for this movie to take place at their secluded household. So, have you seen The Witch? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. I just hit 500 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you all so much. I can't wait to keep making more videos this October season. So please subscribe and stay tuned for those videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Wouldst you like to live deliciously? Honestly, I kind of bet Black Phillip is hot as a person. The boots that you see him wearing, ooh! Yeah, that's gonna be the review.